Just checking the connection. We'll get some people going. We're live. We're live. We're live, guys. We're live. Wow. Another week of interviews this week with your backup plan. And it's Tina Alexa coming to you this week with Women in Business. And I had a great interview with Cheryl Bishop at Resilient Women in Business. And I just want to get some people going on here, some followers. If you have any questions during our live broadcast, feel free to send me a chat, and we'll try and get some questions answered for you. And I'm looking so forward to this week. And next week is another topic again, MLMs, Women in Business again, but in a different aspect. We will be starting a live broadcast for retail business owners as well during coronavirus, this great 2020. I just want to put a shout out there for everybody for August 8th, 2020. Today is 08/20/2020. So if that's not cool, I don't know what is. So let's get going with your backup plan and our live broadcast today. Today we interviewed with Cheryl Bishop. I'll put her link down below with Resilient Women in Business. Right now, it's local in the Lower Mainland and the Vancouver, BC area, but one day I know it's going to be out there throughout the country. But for now, it's if you want to have any questions, you can locate her on the website down below on the link. So with our Women in Business this week, we talked about some tips and tricks for getting organized, clearing the clutter out of your mind, and trying to go through any obstacles that we may have. And with that, I wanted to say we had some great ideas because we need to be better prepared for ourselves personally, as well as our business aspect, whatever that might look like. And this week, we looked at self-employed entrepreneurs, whether you work in an office setting and pay rent or pay a mortgage on a retail space, but don't have people coming into it. We also talked about working from home or whether you work and travel. So I just wanted to talk to you about summarizing. Our podcast is on 6 different locations. I will also link those down below after our broadcast today. So we want to support women. Cheryl supports women every day with her business, talking about mastermind groups. She sets up a community page where women can get their tribe or their community, and some networking events as well. And with your backup plan, we also have a Facebook page that's a VIP section. You can join it as well, and it will be also down below on the link for you to be included when we have a live broadcast, when the podcast is sent in, any information that we have that week. And I don't want you to be alone. I want you to be able to share, like, and subscribe to our channel, because you will have weekly ideas, weekly videos, weekly workshops on for both Cheryl Bishop's page, Resilient Women, as well as your backup plan. So some of the things that we touched on this week in our podcast was don't be alone. Find a tribe, find a community that you can join. And by joining it, I mean by having other women have your back, having somewhere that you can ask questions, somewhere where you can get some ideas, or when you're running into some obstacles, somebody to ask. So I want you to talk about that because we do stand stronger with women when we are connecting in a group than we do on our own. So I wanted to put that out there as well because my clients absolutely love the community VIP page. Whenever they run up against anything and they have a question, they can ask it. And if I don't know the answer, someone else in the group knows the answer, and we'll get that for you. So thank you, everybody, for joining. And I know that you'll stand stronger with your questions answered that way. And we talked about negative, positive thoughts in our minds, and we all have them, and what we can do to trick our mind to start recognizing that we have the negative thoughts, and what we can do around that to make sure that we stay positive. Because our job, our work, our career, our business, our family will not run well around negative thoughts. So we had some ideas around that and how to stay positive, have positive energy thoughts, and how you could reach out to have a better view. Perhaps during coronavirus, don't look at, well, I can't get clients, I can't get anyone to call me, I can't. Let's turn that around and have positive thoughts and say, how can I? And that's been very helpful for anybody in reaching out, recognizing that you have negative thoughts first, and then turning that sentence around in your thought to, how can I? So that brings up some clutter in our minds. Clutter in our minds provides our mind with too much. And then we don't get anything accomplished. We don't get anything done because we are only thinking about all the stuff that's cluttering up our mind instead of moving forward. It's stopping our energy. It's stopping us from moving forward. So, of course, with Cheryl, we talked about that as well and how we could be a part of a community, clean up bit by bit by bit any clutter that we have. If it's the clutter around our desk, around our office space, if it's the clutter in our paperwork, if it's the closet clutter, if it's our home, if it's the space that we've decided to put together to work in, if that's cluttered, we need to clear out the clutter. And we need to clear the clutter out of our minds. That helps us move forward and puts positive energy forward as well. So clearing out the clutter was a big topic that we talked a lot about. And with your backup plan app, it provides you a reason not to have the clutter because it will ask you, do you have a will? Where is it located? Your car insurance is coming up for renewal. Your house insurance is coming up for renewal. It's a little bit more proactive, and it will describe to you and help you alleviate some of those stresses, some of those pressures that we have in our daily lives that we forget. We talked about forgetting to get car insurance, for example, and how that feels when you realize that you don't have car insurance on your car. And all of a sudden you're turning around and driving to the insurance company to get more insurance for your car. And that's pretty scary. And we do it all the time, maybe not for your car, but you forget unless the home insurance company sends you an email, you forget that as well. So clearing out the clutter, getting more organized, putting it in a position in the app that allows you to then have it come up, notify you. Notifications are your best assistant. And we talked about having a plan because you can't run a business without some sort of plan, whether it's a plan for your week, it's a plan for your month, if it's a plan for your year, or 5 years, or 2 years. We need a plan, and you first start off small and you build on that. And it's the same for your personal life. It has to have a plan. When we travel, we have a plan. When we want to drive on a trip, we have a plan of where we're going with a map, perhaps from A to B or A, B, C, D. But if we have a plan for getting married, we have a plan for possibly for divorcing, we have a plan for everything, but we don't make a plan for the unexpected. And I would like everyone to definitely reconsider that, because it's very important to consider having a plan for all those unexpected circumstances. I want to bring up the wildfires right now in British Columbia are very, very horrific. And it's wildfire season here in British Columbia on the Pacific West Coast, as well as in California, right now in San Francisco and area. And I want to put a shout out there for everyone to stay safe. But I want to bring up a plan is also having a 5-minute evacuation. When you have 5 minutes to evacuate for your business, for your personal life, what do you grab? What do you put together? What can you possibly grab in 5 minutes? And that's what I help you have organized, so that when it's time, all you have to do is, grab your suitcase, grab your bag with some water, grab some emergency things, make sure you have gas in your car. That's another issue. I want to welcome everybody who's joining. Hi, Cindy. I can't really read that far on my screen. So hello, everybody that's arrived on our podcast and our broadcast here. Yeah, so having a plan, making sure that you have a plan, but the problem is for the unexpected, how do we know what to be ready for? The only thing that if I asked anybody today what they have a plan for the unexpected, they would say for death. But there's so many other things that we need to be prepared for. The wildfires, 5-minute evacuation notices. It could be a tsunami. It could be a hurricane. It could be a storm surge. It could be flooding. It could be a theft of our passports when we're traveling. It could be a disability, a car accident. Anyways, you get my idea. We need a plan. Okay, so a plan is with your backup plan app, and the link is also down below. So the other things we talked about was energy. We have positive and negative energy in business, and we really need to recognize when the negative energy hits, because anything that is going to move you forward will be positive energy. And we need to recognize when the negative and the positive are unbalanced. We talked about income tax issues, and how we could be a little bit more organized for our income tax time, because that is depleting our actual busy creative space of our business, and how we could fix that as well. So I want to start talking about let's see here, we talked about notifications when insurance or your house insurance comes up for renewal, your business insurance comes up for renewal. You'll get notified through the app. We talked about goals for the new year. That's also a plan, and setting those goals. Perhaps we will be doing a few live broadcasts and workshops around setting a goal for your business. We have a plan. There's so many plans. There's even a plan for making dinner. What are we going to have for dinner tonight? That's a plan. And by having a busy schedule, you get up early, you go to work, you might have to drive somewhere, you might have to be gone all day, and you come home, you make dinner, and you have to get the kids ready or pick up or whatever your day looks like. It's busy. And why not make it easier for yourself by taking quiet time, putting together a plan for your business and your personal life as well? Because the what ifs are going to happen. We know that. We talked about obstacles with Cheryl. And Cheryl said, a lot of people go up against a wall. We're going to hit an obstacle at some point, and we hit the obstacle, and then it triggers us unable to move, and we are sometimes stuck there. And by not looking at what kind of obstacle can we get through this, it might be our community, it might be our group that we belong to that could help us find a solution to go through the obstacle. Because once we get through to the other side, we feel much better, we feel relieved, and we feel freer to be more creative in our business. Because those obstacles, whatever those look like for you, need to be addressed. And we most of the time we will hit the obstacle and we'll say, oh God, now what do we do? So we hit the obstacle and we turn and we'll go run the other way. But I don't want you guys to do that. I want you to look at the obstacle and say, okay, what are the solutions? What can we do to get through this? And we talked about sometimes a line of credit might be, your obstacle is not having enough free cash, not having enough revenue coming in for your business. And how can you make that look a little bit less worrisome for you? Because the worry, the fear, the anxiety, it all builds up into clutter into our minds. And then we're unable to do our job the way we really want it to look like, because we don't have the mind space, that we haven't freed up our mind. It's full of clutter. So we talked about, trying to overcome those obstacles and what that looks like. And by being part of a community, whether you're part of a women's group or being a part of your personal obstacles that you might run up against, it might be a car accident, it might be the rents increasing from where you have a business enterprise, it might be you haven't done your income tax for 2 years, it might be you had a bad client and they wanted to return everything, whatever the obstacle might be. Sickness, disability, getting the coronavirus, for example, that's an obstacle, because it might not be yourself, it might be someone in your family that you need to then look at, well, how do I run my business, look after my kids and my family, as well as now look after my parents. So those are all obstacles, and we need to address those. We can look at understanding your taxes, understanding mortgages. Those will be some more workshops that we're going to do some live broadcasts on. So stay tuned for those. When you say you can, it's different than when you say you can't. And by turning that negative into a positive, I can, or how can I, it brings up a more positive energy, and just to be a little bit more aware of your negative and positive energies. When you don't have a plan, you haven't gotten your protection, so therefore you have fear, you have anxiety, you have worry, you're concerned, and it builds up more and more and more clutter. So why not have a better understanding of, perhaps you need disability insurance, but you don't understand it and you don't want to take the time to understand it? You'll be able to then access one of our workshops or our live broadcasts talking about the different types of insurances, so that you can feel freer to know then what kind of insurance to get. There's so many different kinds. There's personally owned and there's business owned, and those are all quite good questions to ask. And if anybody wants to ask us any questions, feel free in our live broadcast, or send us a text or an email. All our obstacles are very difficult when it comes to a critical illness, or if we hear the C word, or have a heart attack or stroke, but they happen all the time. And it just puts us in a position where we're not organized. It could be we don't have, we are in a car accident and we don't make it home for dinner. What does our family do? Who picks up the kids? Who looks after the dog or the cat? Who feeds them? What do you feed them? All of these questions are such little tiny things, but if somebody doesn't know if the person is single or married or divorced or whatever your situation might look like, it varies amongst everybody. But if no one else knows what's in your own mind, we can't have a plan because we haven't shared it. So by us realizing that these are kind of things that are important in the what if scenarios. So we looked at not having a plan. Whose responsibility is that? Cheryl pointed her finger and said, there's only one finger pointing at someone and all the other fingers are pointing back at you. So we need to look at ourselves, getting more organized to have a plan. And what does that look like? And I used to hate it when I go to workshops and they'd say, well, you need a plan. Well, how do I know what's in the plan? Well, your backup plan app has put everything that's incredibly impossible to not think of into an app. And it's very easy to use as 1, 2, 3. You can fill out as many sections as you'd like. And it's very, very simple to use and very easy to share amongst your family or loved ones. So during the coronavirus, we talked about with Cheryl having the negative thoughts. There's a lot of companies that have derailed off our existence as we knew it before. This is our new normal. And a lot of those same companies that we used to go to those restaurants, we used to go to that store and it's no longer there. Don't think that you can't run the business of your own because of that. Take those moments to think about how you can alter what you sell, how you can provide that service a different way, and go for it, because the opportunities are definitely there to build your business and not have those negative thoughts even during coronavirus. So I wanted to mention to you about the wildfires because we talked about them in the last podcast, and this week has been a big week for us in wildfires. So if you haven't, I hope you've gotten a few tips and tricks from our live broadcast tonight, because you can listen to our podcast as well, and it's about 45 minutes or so. But I really want to stress, if you haven't gotten anything from today, nothing, you've gotten no tips and tricks from me tonight, I want you to start thinking about what if. What if we had a wildfire come through to where you live or you have run your business? What would that look like for you? Because there's been over thousands of people this week that have been evacuated and lost their homes and lost their business structure of what it looked like before. So I want you to think about, what would we need to put in a safe? What would we need to put into an app? What would we need to ensure that we have protection and security? Because when all of that paperwork is gone, we have to rely on possibly our old last year's information, perhaps hard drives or iClouds or whatever that might look like. And we need to be better prepared. And your backup plan app will be also adding to a business section. It's not in it right now, but you can add your personal and your business information in it right now. But it will be a second portion of the app where you can put your accounts payables, you can put your accounts receivable, even if it's updated on an annual basis, perhaps from your accountant. You can put where things are located. where vehicles, perhaps you have boats, you have equipment. Those are all things that are important to record. And just think if your spouse or your partner had to step into your business, not know anything about it other than you go to work every day, but don't know all the particulars, all that information that you know at your fingertips. So if you look at it, like if I had a 5-minute evacuation, what would I need to take with me? Where would it be? And how could I make that a simple procedure? And I'm here to help you with any emergency preparedness. That's a hard word to say. And planning and getting more organized. And if we can help one person and you tell one person and they tell one person, pretty soon we are going to be some awfully happy families out there because we've taken the stress and the emotional part. We can't alleviate the emotion when something happens to someone, but we can certainly alleviate the stress part of it. And the emotion, we can then spend more time with your loved one, making sure that they're happy or that their recovery in happy and in a good place, and be positive. Because you never know what will happen. The coronavirus sometimes has taken young people as well, and struggled with that as well. So we need to be vigilant and make sure that we are prepared in many sorts of ways. And some of those things that we need to be prepared for are things that, well, I think I have my accounts payable in my computer, but how do you get into my computer? So we need to have another avenue that we could put together and put aside for someone so that they know how to access it. Just like your will, a lot of people have wills, a lot of people don't have wills, but even for if you have one, where is it? And I have so many clients that have contacted me over the years and said, I know he told me he has one, but I have no idea where it is. So these are the kinds of things, like funeral arrangements. Some people have had funeral arrangements, but then again, the people that are left behind don't have any clue of where those funeral arrangements have been made. So you can see that a plan is great and you think you have it done, but I've looked at the whole picture and laid it out there for you guys so that you can be better prepared. And Cheryl, with her clan of resilient women in business, they also help women be better prepared for their business because things change every month. Hey, we know when we're in business for ourselves what that looks like. And with coronavirus hitting us all this year, we need to really look at how we can change our pathway. Maybe we need a different direction. Maybe we need to go online. Maybe we need to look at having less staff or not having an outside rental portion. Maybe we could do it at home. Whatever that might look like for you, we are here to support you. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. You can find our podcast every week on Spotify and iTunes and four other channels. But all the links will be down below. And I really so appreciative for everybody coming out today and listening to our Women in Business broadcast. And I hope you get a chance to listen to the actual podcast. We have a lot of fun every week. And next week, we'll be talking about network MLMs and how that looks to be prepared, perhaps from a network perspective for women, and how I can help you. I could talk and talk and talk forever. So I'm going to sign off now. And I hope everyone's had a great, hopefully you've gotten something out of this broadcast today. That's my goal every time. And our podcast is full of great ideas. So feel free to listen to that. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I also have a VIP section below. Thanks, Sherry. And it will allow you to be a part of our community and get some of our workshops that you'll be notified that they're coming up. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's come out. And on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, you guys are great. I appreciate you. And please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And looking forward to you next week. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe, wash your hands, and stay healthy. Till next week. Bye for now. Bye, guys.